And I just talked to detectives here at the Delray Beach Police Department. The good news is that boy is now out of the hospital. He's doing much better. He is expected to recover. As for last night, this happened around 10:20 last night on Northwest 1st Avenue. They say two people were standing outside of a home when an SUV, a gold Chevy Tahoe, pulled up and just opened fire. 14 shots in all. The two men who were outside, they were not hurt, but that 10-year-old boy was inside. A bullet pierced the front door and then hit him in the thigh. Again, he is doing much better. He is now out of the hospital. But get this, police say this was just the latest shooting in an ongoing feud between two families here in Delray Beach. And they say since 2014, these two families have been involved in 46 different shootings here in Delray Beach.
It is, tit for tat. We've got to try and one up the other person. Anytime there's a shooting, then the other side we know is going to retaliate. And it's really a crime of opportunity. They're driving around looking for members of each other's family and just taking shots at them.
And out of those 46 shootings, there have been 5 homicides. Police have made some arrests during those cases, but they say it's very difficult because neither family ever wants to cooperate with them. They always want to take care of what they call street justice. So police say they are expecting a retaliation from last night's shooting, and that retaliation may come as early as tonight. That's the very latest reporting live in Delray Beach. Ari Height, WPBF 25 News.
Ari, thank you. Boynton Beach police just identified the teenager found shot to death in a car early yesterday morning. 17-year-old Johnny Harp was found along Arthur Court. Anybody with information about this crime should call Boynton Beach Police.
All right, Tiffany, let's talk about the high heat. Another day of incredible temperatures across the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast, in part because of Sahara dust. Here's a look at our First Alert Skycam network in Boca. You can see the hazy skies and check out the current temperature right now in downtown West Palm Beach, 91. Up the road, though, along the Treasure Coast, much hotter for the 4th consecutive day. 98 degrees in Port St. Lucie. Let's take a closer look at some of the numbers across the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. It is still 98 right now in Port St. Lucie. The heat index at the moment, 120 degrees. Again, dangerous across that part of the Treasure Coast. A little cooler in Vero because you've got some rain coming your way. I'll show you First Alert Doppler radar in just a second, but dry in Palm Beach County. Current temperatures again around 90 to 89 degrees. First Alert Doppler radar tracking a few isolated showers, but I tell you what, the air is really dry this afternoon. Dry in the sense that we can't get storms going. So we've seen a few across parts of the Treasure Coast, but they're pretty weak and falling apart rather rapidly. A little bit farther west, no relief for you. In Port St. Lucie, the clouds and the showers beginning to fall apart. And look at Palm Beach County. It's all quiet right now, just one shower south of Belle Glade. Forecast for the rest of the evening. All about the heat, all about the humidity. Are we going to get a break anytime soon? And when will rain come back? I'll be back with South Florida Certified. Most accurate forecast in a couple minutes.
All right, Mike, thank you. The Trump administration has rejected a proposal by Russian President Vladimir Putin to question American citizens in return for giving the U.S. access to a dozen Russian military intelligence officers.
Those officers were indicted for their role in trying to sabotage the 2016 presidential election. Anchor Todd McDermott is here with more. Todd?
And to be clear, the U.S. Senate actually overwhelmingly approved a resolution against allowing Russia to question former U.S. Ambassador Michael McFaul or other U.S. officials Putin has a grudge against. McFaul served in the White House as ambassador to Russia under President Barack Obama. He was critical of Putin and the Russian government during his tour of Moscow and has continued to speak out against Russia. As the White House tries to clean up after the fallout from President Trump's summit with Vladimir Putin, Congress taking action.
Surely we can rise above pandering to party and Putin to act on behalf of our freedom and our security.
House Democrats introducing new legislation to bring back funding for election security measures. House Republicans blocked a measure to subpoena the U.S. translator, who was the only other American in the room when the president met Putin. In the Senate, a resolution opposing U.S. diplomats being questioned by foreign governments.
He offered to have the people working on the case come and work with their investigators with respect to the 12 people. I think that's an incredible offer.
President Trump, when standing next to Putin, supported the idea, and yesterday his press secretary said the proposal was under discussion.
President's going to meet with his team, and we'll let you know when we have an announcement on that.
Then word came this afternoon that President Trump rejected Putin's offer to connect the Kremlin with the special counsel's team regarding those 12 indicted Russian intelligence officers in exchange for Russian officials questioning President Obama's former ambassador to Russia and others. It's the third reversal for the White House since the summit, when President Trump refused to hold Putin accountable for Russia's cyber attack on the 2016 election and doubted his own U.S. intelligence agencies.
I don't want to get into whether or not he's lying. I can only say that I do have confidence in our intelligence agencies as currently constituted.
Despite the scathing criticism of the president's performance at the Helsinki summit from both political parties, President Trump seems to already be planning for a follow-up meeting with Putin. The president has asked National Security Advisor John Bolton to invite the Russian dictator to Washington, D.C. in the fall. Felicia?
Todd, thank you. Next, a Treasure Coast massage therapist under arrest. Why police say the investigation could be far from over. Plus, it is the trip out on the water nobody will ever forget. A group of 7 people in Florida, how they stayed safe after their airboat overturned in an alligator-infested lake. And coming up, all new at 5:30, a store clerk is facing serious charges after trying to stop a thief. See how trying to catch a suspect turned the clerk into a criminal himself. You're watching WPBF 25 News. A Jensen Beach massage therapist is charged with sexual battery following complaints of inappropriate touching from 2 separate women who received massages. Police say in one case, a woman told the therapist to stop touching her because she felt uncomfortable. Police believe there could be more victims. Anthony Costura reports.
50-year-old Joseph Carrera III is now charged with sexual battery after 2 separate women came forward complaining that they were touched inappropriately. Now, the Martin County Sheriff's Office says it happened here at the Pink Cottage Spa in Jensen Beach. They say the touching was not in line with usual massage practices. Investigators say one incident happened in April, the other just this month, and now detectives are concerned there could be more victims. If you had a similar experience or know anyone who maybe had a similar experience, you're asked to please call the Martin County Sheriff's Department. From Jensen Beach, I'm Anthony Costura, WPBF 25 News.